Highlights and some of the misses on a recent road trip. Probably hitting peak fall colors, and a lot of this trip was on highway, but we did do a little bit of city driving. Total drove 346 miles, 334 on autopilot. That works out to 96.5% of all the miles we drove were done by the car. So that's pretty cool. I have to love autopilot when you get stuck into traffic jams on the highway. So this is a fender bender that some guy here spun out and crashed into the wall. I feel sorry for him, but got to be careful out there. So here the car is going to miss High Street. Navigation is going to send us on the wrong way. It should be in this left lane. It can't get over. It should be in that left lane here. You can see the blue on the screen, but the car can't make it over. Here, there's one more lane, so we're going to miss our exit. The car is going to have to swing out and around and take us out of the way to get back to... Now here's going to make a detour into the right lane, and that's going to bounce back into the left lane. So Tesla's navigation still is just, I think, terrible in a lot of ways. It just... I'm not quite sure what the fix is at this point for it, but it's got to get a lot better than it's doing currently. So let this play out. You'll see it's going to get us all the way from here to the parking garage without any real interventions. So I'll give it the credit for getting it back to where it should have been to begin with. So at least it got us back to where we should have been. We should have come out from the left here. Should have been a pretty simple off the highway, and a couple turns have been right here. But because of the packet pickup for the Columbus Marathon, I'm going to take over here and just drive in manually because the car, based on navigation, is not going to try and make a turn into the garage. Parking garage back to the highway, swings out too wide here into the right lane, swings back to the left, but it does get us onto the interstate without any issues. So good job at least getting us to the highway, full autopilot. We've reached Springfield, Ohio, taking our exit, and once we get to the stop sign up here, we have about 14 miles of back two-lane roads to get us to our wedding event, which was a vampire-themed wedding, which is another story unto itself. But these back roads that are predominantly two-lane with mixture of stop signs, four ways, two-way stops, sometimes to get some stoplights, are getting really good. I'd say getting close to being as good as autopilot on the highway, and really relaxing and easy to drive these two lanes. So I'm gonna let this play out at 4x speed so you can just watch the whole drive to our destination. Car is not going to be able to pull us into the parking lot. It's going to just time out here outside the event. So I'm going to take over and just drive into the parking lot manually. But 14 miles, just let the car do its thing and get us to this destination. So again, pretty cool. When I initially plotted out the trip back to Columbus, Tesla navigation was showing me to take me on Route 4, not over on Route 70. So when I checked it as we hit the road again, I noticed that it switched back and the car decided to take us back on 70, which I didn't want to do. I'm going to go back roads. So we course corrected. Now we're on Route 4 heading us back to Columbus. We'll put this on 4X just so you can see, again, smooth and easy, except for Tesla navigation trying to throw us another curveball. came up on, I think, 3 roundabouts that I don't think were on the map, so car handled them pretty well. So let's go ahead and go through these in real time. Had a car coming from the left. I was kind of wondering if the car was going to wait a little bit and pause, but it went really smoothly through this without any hesitation or jerkiness. So I'm going to give that one an A on the scorecard. This one's a little more complicated. Got a couple extra lines, or lanes, I should say, to deal with. This one wasn't as smooth. It still did really well, but it's a little more hesitant. I don't remember hitting the accelerator here. It's going to I'm going to think I wanted to go in the right lane. It stutters a little bit here, wasn't sure, and then it chose the right lane and got us through. Okay, so I'm going to give that one probably a B to B+. So still pretty good. Car really seemed, it had trouble choosing its lane here. The second ago it flipped back to the left lane, back to the right. Luckily it stayed in the correct lane the whole time and went through this one pretty smoothly. So I'm going to give this one a B just because it had some doubts about which lane it needs to be in. So we're going to hit I think this is another roundabout here, and then I think we're going to merge onto the highway. Had a little trouble merging onto this highway here. We're going to talk about that as it happens. Car gets through that roundabout pretty decently. I wasn't sure if it was going to go straight or take a right here, but it luckily chose the correct path, went up to the highway. I'm going to go over this little steel plate a little faster than I would have liked to. You can never tell when it's going to go fast or slow on these on-ramps. Truck's going to come from the left here. I have to yield, but the Tesla is going to pretend like, hey, I've got all the room in the world, not a problem, but I got to take over because this is really a big fail on the Tesla's part because I'm going to run out of lane here. So I don't know what the car would have done if I left on autopilot. Probably nothing really good. So I'm going to call that a complete fail. On our way to the Chargers and Sawmill, play this 4X, go through this urban area pretty smoothly, no issues through here. And it's got to pick the right lane here. And I was kind of surprised. I wasn't quite sure if it was going to make that right here, and it luckily chose the right path this time. Our last clip of the night is going to be a fail, going to the last supercharger stop of the night. Got a traffic coming from the left, so the car is going to look, and I think it's going to wait. Then all of a sudden it starts to creep out like it's going to go for it. So I'm going to have to take over, put on the brake. You'll see this truck here to my left in a second. And again, I just can't believe it can't see these things. So that's another massive fail. That's the last clip of the night, but overall, pretty good trip. Hope you enjoyed it.